Hey again, guys, it's Emily. I'm going to do another pick a card reading tonight. I wanted to switch it up, so what we're going to do is what was it? Oh, what is holding me back? So what do I need to change? What do I need to heal? What's in my way? What's holding me back? This is for any situation, whether it be a relationship or a job or a project, career, family situation, whatever it might be. So there are 3 decks that I'm using. I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling the first one while I'm talking. And the picture is on the screen, so you're going to want to go ahead and select which deck that you want to be read from right now. And I will show the cards that I select when I process this video, even though I'm doing it as a MP3 recording originally. So this is group number 1. What does group number 1 need? What is what is standing in the way of group number 1 achieving their goals? Whatever those goals might be. Okay, so right off the bat, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. Good times. So that is the quintessential card for what's holding you back, right? That's literally what's holding you back, is the chains of the Devil. A lot of times this is going to stand for stuck energy, karmic energy, just basically energy which is no longer serving you, which needs to be released. But in a lot of cases, people feel like they're unable to release this energy for whatever reason, whether they're attached to it, usually attachments, as symbolized in many decks with the chains. But in real life, attachment is the cause of so much pain. And when you release the attachment, everything feels different. Everything feels less difficult, less painful, less hurtful. So the overall energy for this particular reading is the Devil energy. So this group, if you picked number 1, what I'm getting is that what's blocking you is a real imbalance toward the negative, like a real imbalance toward essentially you're holding grief within you, which could come from anything. I feel like there's a lot of emotional, well, obviously it's an emotion, so it's an emotional grief. But in this situation, I feel like it could be of a romantic nature or a loss of a family member or something like that. Like I'm getting more like emotional loss than anything else. So a relationship that's no longer in existence, whether it's because someone passed away or a loved one left, deserted. I heard the word deserted. Some kind of abandonment could be the issue. I'm feeling like this is imbalanced to the point where you're actually pulling in more situations which are subconsciously validating the grief that you're holding on to. Like, it's basically saying, because of the energy you're holding on to, you just keep bringing more and more of the same thing in. So it's resonance essentially. So whatever your dominant energy is, you're always going to pull in that same energy from other areas, and you're going to keep reliving that until you change your resonance essentially. Because the devil has come up here, I feel like there may be a karmic aspect to this. So it could be that you're reliving that also until you learn your lesson or make the realization. And the lesson here, I think, is going to end up being making the choice to think in a different way. Okay, just because I'm looking at what cards are showing up here. But so there's a lesson to be learned or an experience to be had in releasing this grief. It could also be guilt or shame, but I'm feeling a lot of grief inside me right now, and that imbalance is severe enough that it's really throwing you off. It's actually blocking you from being able to begin new relationships or move forward in fulfilling relationships in other ways. So I feel like I said before, I feel like this is coming from there may be a mother-child situation going on here. If this is you, if this is resonating, it could be that you felt rejection or sort of a lack of attention or a lack of interest from your mom, and you felt like somehow whatever you gave her, whatever you offered her was never quite good enough. And so there's a profound grief inside you because basically you're feeling like a constant disappointment. You're feeling like you're never good enough. And that's what you began to believe. So that is a loss of relationship with self. This definitely could be the loss of a partner or loved one through physical death. It could be that there was a tremendously emotionally imbalanced relationship of any kind, but particularly romantic, where you again gave and gave and gave, and the other person took to the extent that it was completely imbalanced. Codependent energy is what I'm kind of getting, which would also go along with this devil card here. I'm feeling like the other person might have had some narcissistic tendencies, potentially, and was really only interested in looking at themselves in the mirror, kind of. And here you were offering over and over again with this very innocent, loving energy, and they were just completely, like, not appreciative of it. I feel like in your giving, it was giving in a very innocent sense, and in some ways almost immature, like lacking of experience is kind of what I mean. Not immature in a babyish way, but immature in just a lacking of experience to know how to set boundaries. And so if that was you, whether that's in a parent-child relationship or a romantic relationship, or even one with like a coworker, boss, friend, sibling, that is, if any of those situations are resonating with you, that's where this grief is sort of situated. So it's like the not having been seen, not having been heard or appreciated, the not having received the love in return, made you feel that you are unlovable in some way. And that is what's really kind of causing you to be stuck. I feel like the way to overcome this is going to be in making a really profound choice to put your stake in the ground and to decide that you are worthy of the self-love. and to start thinking about it in a completely new way, to start seeing things through the eyes of your own truth, which are going to relate back to who you are. And you know that you are a spark of the divine. Like, you cannot be anything but perfect. You might make mistakes. You might go down a path that causes pain for you. But in the end, you know, you can't really make a true mistake because you're taking lessons from that as you go along. So I feel that you need to make the profound choice to see yourself and your life in a different light, and to see it not as loss, not out of a lack consciousness, but as sort of a, I'm hearing like a divine comedy or a divine play in which you are making choices and playing out different decisions based on the things that you need to learn or the experiences you need to have in order to live your truth. Okay? I feel like the light comes to you when you recognize the truth of the fact that you are an absolutely individual and divine spark of light, and that if self-love is hard for you right now, then accept divine love in the process of accepting self-love. And in accepting self-love, you will begin to attract in a very different kind of relationship for yourself. It's going to be one that's based in the truth of your worthiness and your lovability. It's going to have more clarity to it. It's not going to lack the boundaries. It will have clear, appropriate, and healthy boundaries to it, which is something that you have lacked in the past. There's a lot of over-giving here based upon the fear that you're not really enough, that you need to come with gifts in order to be accepted. And that's what's holding you back. Okay? Hope that's helpful. Please let me know in the comments. We're going to move on to group number 2, and I just have to remember to keep these cards in order so that I can do a photograph of them after the readings. Okay, group number 2. So with this group, we're asking the same question. What is holding group number 2 back from achieving their goals? What's holding group number 2 back? Couple more shuffles here. Well, just sort of set your intention about what you want to receive from this reading. So group number 2, what is holding you back? Had a jumper, 2 jumpers of the Hermit and the 10 of Pentacles. So let's just see if those come out again or what. What is holding group number 2 back? Another jumper of the Devil, the Devil again. A lot of reversals this time. I don't usually read reversals. Let me just make sure. Oh. Well, Albie, it looks like this entire deck is just sitting upside down. So I'm actually going to flip them upright because I was just holding the deck upside down. I know. Lame. All right, there is one reversal in here. Just one though, so we're going to keep it because I started out talking like that, so it's like I knew that was going to happen. Okay, so to start, the bottom of the deck is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is like secret knowledge. This is like things that are kept behind closed doors, secrets that you keep. It can have a more positive connotation too in being like your highest intuition, just general knowing or understanding, your gut instinct. I kind of think of her as the keeper of the secrets, the keeper of like the secret knowledge or the books or something like that. So let's see how this reading pans out. And we'll see how that fits in better as we move along. So first we have Justice, the Justice card with the 8 of Cups, the 8 of Chalices. So I feel like I'm getting the feeling here that there's a refusal to... There's like a refusal to move on until you receive what you think is justice. It's like you're going to hold on to this until, and cut your nose off to spite your face until you think the other person has paid their debt. The obvious problem with that is there's like a whole lot, just looking at this picture here, this woman is just like, she looks very angry, and I feel like there's so much internalization of the whatever wrong she perceives having been done to her. And I say perceives because I really get the feeling that in some cases some people were really harmed. In other cases you're holding on to stuff that is not worth your energy. So if that's you, think about it. And think about where the real justice is done. If that's the case, what's the real justice here? Is it holding on to this energy to the point where it's hurting you and hindering you? Or is it simply letting it go regardless of what the other person's journey might be, so that you can then start receiving good things? It's like the best revenge is living well, right? So I feel like in a lot of cases, number 2 is hanging on to grudges. This is like a grudge. Next we have the Queen of Swords with the Magician in reverse. That's the one reversal that came out. And so I feel like this is a manipulation of the truth. Those are the words I'm hearing. Somebody is manipulating the truth. And it may be that this is happening on both sides. Or it could be, there are a couple of scenarios coming up. Either it's happening on both sides, or this is the wrong that was done to you. Somebody basically lied about your situation and made it seem like you did something or caused something that you did not do. That's basically it. Like making you out to be unfair or unjust, making you out to have been the bad guy in a situation when you maybe weren't. I also feel like there's a chance here that there might be some manipulation of or some unfairness in, to come out next to justice here, the Queen of Swords. I almost feel like the Queen of Swords is like another way of saying justice, and it's almost like justice has been manipulated. Somebody was bought off or something like that, or somebody was, there was favoritism or something like that. So I feel like, and understandably, if one of those is the case, the anger is so great at the mishandling of justice that that you're having a hard time letting it go. And this may be the secret that the High Priestess here on the bottom of the deck is talking about. You may be holding this within yourself so that it's actually causing you so much destruction because you're not letting it go. And I feel like in some cases, some of you don't even know how that would work. Like, you don't even know where to start with it. It's so inconceivable, upsetting, frustrating. You feel like your character has been maligned potentially in some way, and you're just like, this is so far beyond who I really am that I don't even know where to begin with this. For some of you, there might also be this feeling that this person's not worth my energy, right? But the problem with that is if you don't actually release that feeling, then you're just internalizing it. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. And because they don't really feel that this person's not worth their energy, they're mad about it. But it's more like they're so embarrassed or ashamed of the fact that they're going to have to deal with this, or they're just plain angry that they're going to have to deal with this, that they're keeping it buried. It's remaining buried. For some of you, and this is going to be very few of you, but for some of you, this might actually be like a family thing. Like, it might be buried deep in your family roots, and it's coming up for you right now, either because you are the person in the family who's clearing your bloodline, or because of some external situation that you need to uproot this. This could really be happening on this level for a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So I'm almost seeing like somebody's recovered some kind of a diary which admits something, or some sort of written letter or something that changes everything, and it's like it's posing some issues with you in like rocking you to your core about your own foundations or your own upbringing or something like that. But that's really for a very specific group of you. For most of you, I feel like this has to do with you feeling that you were somehow done wrong, and that justice was not done or was manipulated in some way. And it could be that you feel that this person gets away with this stuff all the time. I feel like the answer to this, or the resolution, comes. We have the Knave of Wands, which is the Page of Wands, with the Ace of Swords. And of course the Ace of Swords came up here. That's truth. That's truth in its like clearest fashion, its finest, its victory, its clarity. So we're talking so much about justice. This is justice also. This is the swift sword of justice. So I feel almost like there needs to be a conversation that's started that brings this truth out. And it honestly might call out an individual who's acting not in their integrity. So this may be done in writing, because I just heard the pen is mightier than the sword, looking at the Ace of Swords here. This may be done in writing. It may be done through a legal channel, another legal channel. I don't feel that this is done in any kind of like street confrontation or something like that. I do feel that this is through some kind of official channel, whether it's legal or a written letter or the writing of a novel or creative work of art. The story is going to be told, the truth is going to come out, and this person is going to be exposed for the charlatan, I heard the word charlatan, that they are. So that's important. I am so interested to hear if this applies to any of you, because this is like a story I've not seen before in most of my readings. In any case, the secret's coming out. I mean, that's got to be why the High Priestess has shown up here at the bottom of the deck. This is the secret coming out. This is putting the rumors to rest. This is clarity and truth from or about either family rumors or rumors about you or whatever. I do get a very strong feeling of victory here with this Ace of Wands, so that this does indeed solve your issue, but you need to follow your own discernment as to what this Ace of Wands is for you. If it is a legal proceeding, if it is the writing of a letter or the writing of an essay, a novel or a story, writing of a documentary. In some way, though, the truth is exposed. So this is very interesting. Please, please, if this is you, let me know in the comments. Okay, so that's number 2. The last one is number 3. All right, so what is it that's holding number 3 back? What is holding number 3 back? I almost feel like I'm allergic to something in here, so I apologize for all my coughing. What is it that's holding number 3 back? Group number 3, what is holding me back? Sorry about the phone notifications. I'm recording this on my Pixel. And of course, my day job does not know when to stop. And they are messaging at 8 p.m. at night on the Sunday night. Okay, what is holding number 3 back? God, sour much? That's me. What is holding number 3 back? Wow. Okay. The bottom of the deck here is the 4 of Pentacles. And to me, that feels like an inability or unwillingness to open up. This feels like an unwillingness to take some kind of a risk. And therefore, it's holding you back because you're unable to achieve growth while you are refusing to risk anything, if that makes sense. Like you have to spend money to make money is kind of the idea here. And you're not taking that risk. Whether it be actually in the financial sector or whether it be in relationships or something else, I'm feeling like this fear of exposure, fear of vulnerability, fear of loss. There's a lot of fear here in taking a risk. So the first two cards that appear are the King of Pentacles with Justice again. So we have another reading involving justice or balance. And I feel like this person, the King of Pentacles, really feels like, or fears, they feel like they have to make all the right decisions. They feel like there's no leeway for learning or mistakes. They feel like their steps need to be extremely practical, extremely prudent. And they're very stubborn. I feel like they may be very stubborn in that. I'm looking at the bulls that are surrounding the King of Pentacles in this deck, and the bull horns that are on top of his head. And I just really feel like while he is a very stable, constant, and steady force, he is missing a lot of opportunities, is what I just heard, by not by being too measured in his steps. Like the Justice card to me in this situation feels like extremely measured steps, very measured consequences, predictable consequences. Not wanting, again, with the Four of Pentacles here, not wanting to take a risk. And this, again, is going to hold you back in some senses because while we don't want to make completely insane choices, sometimes taking that risk or being willing to make that leap of faith is going to yield rewards. Sometimes the measured approach, it might make you some slow gains, but it's not going to make you great gains. And if we're talking about what's holding you back, you may be in a situation where you need to be moving quicker, more quickly, more fluidly. I'm looking at the next column where it starts with the moon here, and I'm feeling fluidity. Sorry, needed water. So we have the moon here with the Six of Wands in the next column. And to me, this feels like non-assured victory. Like the victory here is not assured. It's hidden. It's only partially illuminated. It doesn't feel certain. And therefore, you're not taking the step that you might need to take in order to have the success that you are looking for, make the gains. And and the moon is also fear. Like that's that fear I was picking up on. It's like your fear of failure is holding you back. And there's a healthy fear of failure, but because this is holding you back in such a way, I feel like this is definitely unhealthy. It might help if you begin to integrate those instincts a little more. I'm just looking at the wolf and the pit bull on this card and thinking about instinct and how animals navigate through the dark flawlessly. Because you rarely catch them running into something or falling off running into furniture, falling over a ledge or whatever. Animals see in the dark, and they have instincts that lead them to their target. It leads them to victory, in a sense. And so accessing those deeper instincts may be a part of overcoming this and learning to trust those instincts. I want to make a really quick clarification of what I mean there, because you know how people say your gut instinct? I think I even just said it a few minutes ago in talking about the High Priestess. But gut instinct is kind of a misnomer, because when you feel something in your gut, most people use that to talk about truth. Whereas, and this might not be for everyone, but for most people, and definitely for me, I find that the things that I feel in my gut are happening in my solar plexus. And that's usually where I'm holding fear. So it might be here that we're talking about, and I don't know why Spirit leads me in these circular patterns when talking about the lessons in these cards, but it could be that someone is mistaking fear for gut instinct. And I want to make sure that everybody makes the distinction between that feeling in your gut that's like a rock or something, or, you know, that like tingly, not so good kind of sick feeling. That's fear. That's not any higher guidance telling you anything. So that's what you want to avoid. Your real instincts, or intuition, as you might say, is usually going to, if you're clairaudient or clairvoyant, claircognizant, any of those things, clairsentient, you may hear it or see it in your mind's eye, or you know, in the back of your mind or whatever, or just know it. But for a lot of us, a lot of people, I think it comes up in just this feeling, which is somewhere in the realm of clairsentience, in this general feeling in your body. And if you're feeling that in your heart space, even if it's a sad feeling or negative feeling or foreboding feeling, if you're feeling it in your heart chakra, that is more likely to be truth. If it makes an expansive feeling in your heart chakra. If it makes it like shrivel up and it like kind of makes this pit in your stomach feeling, that's probably fear, and it's probably false. That's an illusion. Like the moon, the illusion is that fear, okay? So I feel like this person, group number 3, really needs to make that distinction between what is really your intuition and what is really fear, because you're acting on a lot of fear and holding back. And you're holding yourself back from your full potential, or from this victory that you want, because you're afraid not being able to see the clear path, okay? The advice here is the 6 of Pentacles with the Hierophant. And here I feel like what's being said is that you will be able to overcome this kind of stuck energy, because this is very stuck energy, especially with the 4 of Pentacles showing up here, by balancing your need for absolute, complete structure and knowing, okay? It's like if you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle laid out in front of you, you're afraid to make the step. And that is not what faith is about. So we have the Hierophant here, and that's faith, okay? It's also structure, so it kind of is playing both roles in this particular reading. And what the cards are kind of saying is balance out that need for structure and also that need for faith, so that you're still making good and prudent choices, but you're taking the necessary risks based on faith when you need to, so that you can be moving forward. Some of you are missing a huge opportunity here for abundance, either in material things like money or job, or clients or something like that, or putting yourself out there, or you're missing the opportunity of this incredible new balanced relationship because you are not sure. It's like, will I be accepted? You know, will people actually hire me for my services, or will this, you know, person accept me as a partner? Will they laugh in my face? Will people think that I'm crazy because I went out and I shared my view on whatever? So there's a lot of self-judgment going on here, and you're just going to need to balance that out between making a prudent decision and also making a leap of faith, okay? Because right now you're playing it way too close to the vest and it's actually hurting you, okay? So I hope that resonates with you, number 3, and that gives you some good advice for moving forward. Please do tell me if any of these resonated. And if you liked this reading, I'd love to do it again if this is helpful for people. Please do note you can make appointments with me via my website, which is redhoundreiki.com. And gift certificates are available on my website as well. And I do want to let people know that I will be raising my rates as of the 1st of the year. So anything that you purchase now, you can schedule and purchase at the old rate. I just ask that it be scheduled before the end of February, okay? If you have any questions, you can always email me at emily@redhoundreiki.com. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.